we'll just go ahead and get right into it about why there's so much power in Washington, D.C., and why it matters to you. So, here we go. Did you know 5 of the top 10 wealthiest counties in America are immediately outside D.C.? So why does this matter to you? Why should you care that 5 of the top 10 wealthiest counties are immediately outside Washington, D.C.? So here we go. We have the number 1 wealthiest county is right there. If you're listening to this on audio, you can't see, but number 1, number 2, number 5, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and 8 out of 10. 1, 2, 5, 7, and 10 are immediately outside Washington, D.C. So the question is, why does this matter to you? And the question is, why are they so wealthy? So for context, there are over 3,000 counties in America. Therefore, it would make sense that an area which is home to 5 of the top 10 wealthiest counties produces something of value for our country or does something good, right? Out of 3,000 counties in the entire nation, if 5 of the top 10 wealthiest counties of the 3,000 are immediately outside Washington, D.C., you would think that they're producing some manufacturing, that there's another Silicon Valley, that there's business, there's industry, there's something going on there. Wrong. Washington, D.C. produces nothing of value for our country. Key words, they produce nothing of value for our country. Now, this is not to say that they don't need some taxes to do their constitutional duties, such as to fund a military, right? Well, again, for clarity, Washington, D.C. does need some taxes. After all, they have constitutional duties, such as maintaining an army and a navy and other things. But these requirements do not explain the mass amount of wealth in D.C. and surrounding counties. So, bottom line up front, what's the big deal? What's happening? Our wealth, the people's wealth, is being extracted in the form of an income tax and other means. A vast portion of our wealth, the country's wealth, gets sent to Washington, D.C. And politicians, bureaucrats, government agencies, who, again, they're not making anything, they produce nothing of value, combined with the wealthy who own them, embolden themselves and make each other rich with our money as we, the people, get poorer. These people who get rich at our expense are often referred to as the ruling class. I call these people the ruling class. So as a result, many of our cities are in decay as our money is not invested at home. Millions and millions of Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency. Generational wealth, which helps break poverty cycles, is extremely difficult to build, and you have less money, right? Just to name 4 out of near countless examples, you have less money. So we are told D.C. needs to take this money to reinvest it into our country, but that doesn't happen. For example, only a small fraction of every dollar collected to fund a federal welfare program makes it back to the intended recipients. The rest of the money stays in D.C. for them to use and get rich off of and redistribute it among them and their friends. So, kind of like Social Security, it's not your money. When the second the government took it out of your paycheck by force, without your consent, by the way, it stopped becoming your money. Okay? So you might think, I hope, that we have Social Security when we retire. I'm 33 years old. I hope in 30 years or whatever, when I'm eligible to collect Social Security, that money is there. I'm not holding my breath. But that's a conversation for another time. But let's keep going with these slides. So what's the solution? What's the solution to this mass centralization of wealth to an area that produces nothing of value to our country? We need a mass reduction in government. It's that simple. We need to do many things. Among those many things, we need to abolish the 16th Amendment and the federal income tax. We need to abolish the IRS. We need to abolish the Federal Reserve, and we need to abolish numerous federal agencies that state governments can better manage. So, keynote, I would say I'm a huge advocate for abolishing welfare on the federal level. Does that mean I hate the poor and the needy? Absolutely not. Just by abolishing it on the federal level doesn't mean the concept of a government-funded welfare program goes away. It just means that it goes away on the federal level, and then the states and the local governments can say, okay, what can we do? I mean, there already is state-run welfare programs, so why do we need the federal government and the state government to do it? We don't. The states can manage a welfare program on their own. There's no need for our federal government to manage a welfare program. So, by reducing government, by reducing all of these government agencies, this will keep more money at home and more money invested in local communities. The battle ahead of us, this is so important. The battle ahead of us is no longer the left versus right battle we are so used to. Rather, the battle is now one for power and transferring that power back to the people along with our wealth the ruling class stole from us. We the people must cast aside our labels and realize our disagreements do not have to divide us. Are we going to disagree on issues? Absolutely yes. But we are on the same side and we must focus our sights on the few who have taken our power and our wealth. So I think that's a perfect segue to a clip of what former President Trump here said at CPAC about one of the things that he wants to do when if he wins re-election in 2024.